Итак, всем снова привет. С вами я, Руслан, и сегодня мы продолжаем играть в Stanley Parable. Давайте. В этот
All
раз
of his co-workers were gone.
все его
What
коллеги
could it
пропали,
mean?
чтобы это
Stanley
могло не
decided to go
значить.
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Сегодня я хочу немножечко по-другому пойти.
When
Сначала
Stanley
влево
came
дверь,
to a set
как
of
это
two open doors, he entered the door on his
раньше было.
left.
Вот,
Yet there
сюда.
was not a single person here either.
Там лестница
Feeling a
будет,
wave
хочу
of
вниз в этот раз
disbelief,
пойти, посмотреть,
Stanley
что
decided to
внизу
go up to his boss's office. Hoping, coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
будет. Уверен, что наверх? А я думаю, вниз. Я думаю, что вниз.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours,
Ну да.
he might be fired for
Кто-то кофе
that.
разлил.
And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for
Коридоры
no
бесконечны.
reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much
Откуда
fun,
звезды?
and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Куда идти? Я
Let
не
me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
А? Что? Я снова живой.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Yeah.
And everything went black.
Да.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Что?
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man.
Да.
He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in
Так
that
от комедии
moment, she
перешли к
thought to
грустному
herself how
моменту.
lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Конец. Грустная история Стэнли прям. Так, одну секунду. Так, все тут.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Мы по-прежнему.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Я вспомнил, там еще кое-что было. Что
Yet there was not a single
проверить.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
А, нет. Эта дверь открывается? Она открывается. И что? Ничего? Я-то думал. Так.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Я все до мелочей тут изучу, так что да. Я помню, там был проход налево. Надо туда пойти, чтобы посмотреть, что налево был.
Descending deeper into the building,
escape.
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself,
Посмотреть,
to
что там
question the
находится.
nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for
Да,
long.
будет получен ответ. Поехали.
Stanley walked straight ahead
О,
through the large
вот.
door that read
Это оно.
Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall,
Конечно.
Stanley would meet his violent death.
Именно смерть.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Да, мог. Но не будет.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
О, можно... Уху! Что, все? Действительно смерть? Это уже, по-моему, третья смерть будет Стэнли. О. Ты меня наебал.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Нет.
Farewell, Stanley.
Нет, нет, не прощай. Зря я это сделал. Нет, 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 нет. А?
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Нет, нет, нет. А! А? Ага. А куда идти? Сюда? Нет. Это странно.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Мне больше дед нравился. Уберите вы этого рассказчика. Опа. Тут можно немножко поколдовать над ними. Ага. Так вот, что я тут должен делать? Опа, стоп, что? Велосипед? Поле битвы. На ранней стадии разработки мы сделали концовку, в которой Стэнли сражался с пришельцами. Игра обретала разум и начинала сражаться с рассказчиком. Но мы довольно быстро поняли, что эта концовка слишком фарсовая и выбивается из общей атмосферы игры. К тому же некоторые посчитали, что мы издеваемся над любителями шутеров, а мы этого не хотели. Сука, гений. Я бы хотел бы такую концовку. Это было бы забавно. Так, письма рассказчику. Выкатив второй трейлер, мы попросили игроков отправить рассказчику их вопросы. Мы хотели использовать их для продвижения, но так и не подумав, как именно... так и не придумали, как именно. Вот некоторые из этих писем. В идее... Ладно, я все равно не англичанин, так что пошлите дальше. Офис. Таймер квартиры. В прошлой версии концовки в квартире таймер давал игроку 15 секунд, чтобы взять трубку. Если игрок не брал ее за это время, то получал другую концовку. Я не могу взять. Блин, интересно тут. Не зря зашли. Переговорная. Очень важно было правильно сделать коридоры за первыми двумя дверьми, ведь игроки должны были столько по ним ходить. Мы обсуждали несколько вариантов дизайна, но выиграл в итоге самый простой. Логично. А тут у нас что? Блин, тут много коридоров, блин. пришли дзен-концовки. Были частью дзен-концовки, и игрок тянул рычаг, и рассказчик испытывал, какого именно они были цвета. Описывает. Так, давайте отсюда, ладно, выходить, а то я так себе проспойлерю еще концовки. Такой вопрос, а где я? Лифт, комнат с мониторами. А вот, не сюда ли мне? Наверное, мне как раз сюда и надо.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Ага.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not.
Второй раз
Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
с другим рассказчиком.
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Я чувствую себя садистом. Так. Теперь я сделаю немножко по-другому.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Не знаю,
Stanley
что это могло
decided
бы
to go to the
означать.
meeting room.
Давай
Perhaps he
пошел
had
дальше.
simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open
Нет,
doors,
Стэнли вошел
he
в
entered the door.
правую.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Да. Может быть, он хотел полюбоваться комнатой отдыха.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Допустим.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
А я пойду вниз. Ага. Думал, так просто все будет.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
Куда?
From here, it's, left.
Ну пойдем налево.
Oh,
Да,
no.
что?
No, it's to the right, my
Ты же видел?
mistake.
Направо.
No, not the right. Why
Ты
would I have
офигел.
ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely
О,
this
ура!
way.
Наконец-то. А? Мы сюда пришли.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
Не хочу закрывать.
Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
Зачем?
And
Нет,
this time,
нет,
suppose we don't wander
нельзя
so far
начинать
off
игру с
track,
самого
hmm?
начала.
Okay,
Это только
from
я
the
могу
top.
делать. Не на...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Он её
decided to
всё-таки
go to the
начал
meeting
сначала.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
А?
When
А,
Stanley...
что?
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I
Это
swear, I
как?
definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be...
Куда идти
Or
тогда?
did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were
Я
back in that
ничего не
room with all the
делал.
monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the
Да.
story.
С тебя
It was right
изначально
here
спрос.
just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then. It's an adventure.
Oh.
Come, Stanley. Let's find the
сюжет.
story.
Отлично. Ищем сюжет, согласен. Еще двери. А куда идти-то? Тут лабиринт целый. Вы думаете, в Resident Evil... А? Я назад вернулся. Вы думаете, в Resident Evil 7 лабиринт? Это вот здесь настоящий лабиринт. Так и знаете. Буду
I'll
идти
say it.
О,
This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before.
да.
Do we just...
Что ты
Do
наделал?
we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this.
В этот раз я с тобой
Okay, let's give it a
согласен.
shot.
Давай,
Why not?
перезапускай.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Это уже
Stanley
начинает
decided to go
бесить
to the
постоянно
meeting room.
слышать.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
А? Вообще двери
Okay,
нету.
yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we
Возможно.
go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Опять перезагрузка. А, да. Отлично.
Aha! I knew we'd
Ага.
missed something. The story. Here
Вот и
it
о,
comes.
сюжет.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Да. А,
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what?
Как
Since I've
завернули,
completely
какой
forgotten
сюжетный
what we were
поворот.
supposed to be doing,
Я просто
how
в
about
шоке.
this? You win!
Ура!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So,
Да, я
good
молодец.
job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay?
Из окна ничего не
I'm
видно.
getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to
Да
restart.
нет, нет, я победил впервые. Ах ты мудак, а.
All right, I've got a solution. This
Okay.
time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line.
Целую
How simple
постарался,
is
целую
that?
линию сделал. Вот. Теперь
You see,
понятно, почему
the
игра так
line knows
называется.
where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
Да.
Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination
А хрен
still
его
a
знает,
story?
знаешь.
Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was
Да
going with
ничего
all that.
страшного, чё.
You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Это игра шедевр. Это игра самый настоящий шедевр. Кто будет никогда понять? Кто умеет добро?
cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
А, что? Папоротник.
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Он сыграет
Make sure you
главную
study
роль.
it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Так точно. Какой там папоротник? Что там было? Что-то я уже забыл.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story?
Вот.
Is any of this ringing a bell?
А, там вообще начало самое. Пойдемте по линии дальше.
No, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you...
А ты?
Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Опять перезапуск.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring,
Да,
mysterious.
согласен.
Oh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Да, пойдем.
Now, yes, this is exciting.
Как
Just me
волнительно.
and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go
Про
wild.
телепузиков или
Use your
смешариков.
imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Нападают на смешариков, а смешарики отбиваются от них.
Oh, no, not you again.
Опять ты.
Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Я и так не смотрю на нее. Ну да ладно, подсматриваю так иногда.
Ah, a choice.
Ну,
We
например,
get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Да. Сейчас, секунду. Все. Выпрямили голову. Запутанная концовка? Что?
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending.
Концовка путанная.
You're telling me
Стоп, тут все
that's what this
концовки.
is? It's all one giant ending?
Третий, четвертый.
And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times?
Шестой перезапуск, седьмой.
That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
Да.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind
это
goes
наша
blank
проблема с
simply
тобой.
because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really?
Спустя
No, it can't
долгое
be.
время Стенли
I don't want
умирает.
it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't
Вот
want to forget
правильно,
what's
не
going
надо
on.
ничего
I don't want to
перезапускать.
be trapped like this. I won't restart the
куда бы
game.
я бы
I
ни
won't
пошел, всё
do
равно
it.
сюда
I
попал бы.
won't do it. I won't do it.
Ни за что, правильно.
And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
Где-то обрадовался один Эндрю. Ой, Эндрю.
So,
Генри.
okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you
согласен.
agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey,
Жаль, что
though
вы
they're
не добавили
always saying that
анимацию
life is about the
сажания на
journey
стул.
and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
Удивлением.
Well, in the meantime, if you do happen to have...
Что? Это было резко. Загрузка. Так, ладно, давайте на этом приостановимся. С вами был я, Руслан. Подписывайтесь на канал. Это была веселая серия. Всем счастливо.